Hey everyone, how's it going? Cell here. Welcome back to the third progress video on the Juggernaut Boneshatter League Starter. This one is probably going to be the last one in a league start context because we're a week into the league, a little over even, and I feel like we're outside of the bounds of what is considered league start, both in terms of the time frame and the progress we're looking at. So I put out a couple videos showcasing my quest Eater and Exile kills, and I'm still sitting on 2 Watchstones. Still have yet to do the Maven or Uber Elder, but working towards those and hoping to knock those out as well. Probably on this character, I have been considering rerolling, which is why I haven't put out a video on this character in a few days, or since last weekend, really. So I have been considering rerolling a bow character, been Crucible-ing a couple of bows and all that, mostly because I felt like I was hitting a slump with this character. The damage was feeling low, and that was largely because I was hindered by my defenses, and I don't know if I realized it at the time. Essentially what was happening is my attack speed was so high because of weapons like this, 1.77 base attacks per second. The trauma stacks would ramp up too much, I'd be taking a ton of damage, and be permanently on like a third of my health, if not one-shotting myself to the trauma. So that introduced a scenario where it kind of feels bad to be attacking, and that's not really something you want to have happen when you're trying to deal single target damage. So I was looking at ways to fix that, just kept playing the character a little bit, started to not enjoy it too much, which is why I was looking at rerolling. And then a couple of things happened. First of all, they fixed a bug where the Juggernaut Unbreakable node was not providing double armor from your body armor. It was doing something like these nodes do, 100% increased armor from equipped boots and gloves. It was doing something like that, but for body armor. Then, another thing happened in the patch notes. I and many other people assumed this was intentional. When you use Iron Reflexes and a hybrid armor evasion base, the evasion would not get doubled by Unbreakable because it's evasion and not armor, is what a lot of people, including myself, figured. Well, they apparently saw that as a bug and fixed it when they fixed Unbreakable. So body armor does provide double body armor. Armor now, rather. And if you have Iron Reflexes, your evasion is added to your armor, and then that gets doubled. So, I now have this body armor, and it is pretty nuts. Over 3,100 armor, base armor coming from this, which then gets doubled, which is then run through a bunch of various increases that you have throughout your build, and multiplied by determination and all that. So that was one fix that happened. Have this armor now, it'd be actually better without the life roll, I think. I could pick up the 15% life mastery, but oh well, I don't remember how I got this actually. I think I got it as a drop, but it's pretty obscene. Threw some Eldritch implicits on it. The determination I hit first try, and then I started looking at other things to improve the build. During that time I also found this mace. This was an alt aug regal situation, and yeah, hit the physical damage and attack speed. The tree is very mediocre, basically just 10% attack speed. The level of socketed melee gems isn't really doing anything for me right now, except make me take more damage from Boneshatter, really. It is a little bit of increased damage, 265 added top end there versus 238, but it doesn't make a huge difference, and then there's some, minor benefit to getting the extra level on certain support gems. So I got this as a 6-link drop, I don't think I mentioned, which is why, I'll regal it, threw a craft on it, called it good. It's pretty good. Under 600 PDPS, I think. Too lazy to do the math right now. Then I ended up getting Kaom Spirit. and I was considering switching up the build a little if I did end up getting these. And I decided to try it out, and I'm very glad I did, even though it's a lot heavier on points. I also have quite a bit more life now. Just sort of shoveled a few things around to try to fit in more accuracy. Can see here I'm just over my life threshold in terms of accuracy for precise technique. I dropped the spell suppression over here to facilitate those changes. Still rocking this for the bleed immunity. Thought about moving over to the onslaught effect over here, and I think that might be better for mapping, but I feel like I prefer the consistency in the amount of armor I'm getting. Maybe if I found a different source of onslaught, like, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say onslaught on hit from body armor, but I don't think I'm going to be replacing my body armor with an essence body armor anytime soon. So when that happened, I spec'd out of some damage. I was in like these nodes over here, and I think some other ones as well. I spec'd out of this mastery, even though it's pretty good, and out of the spell suppression, of course, to pick up this recovery wheel, Hardy, over here, and this leech cluster over here, the last couple points. And all of that because Kaom Spirit gets rid of your life regen. The primary means of mitigating the or recovering from Boneshatter trauma stacks is this node here, Untiring. 1.5% of physical damage prevented from hits in the past 10 seconds is regenerated as life per second. And that's how you can maintain trauma stacks on a Juggernaut, even really high trauma stacks, as long as you have enough life and mitigation not to one-shot yourself. So, Kaom Spirit disables that. You need another way of recovery. Life Leech is not going to be enough. The base is 20% per second, even with this, up to 23% max Life Leech per second. You can't take Volpact because that disables your life regen and renders Kaom Spirit useless. So what I decided to do was go with Recoup instead, which you may have noticed on my body armor. So I started with this Anoint, got rid of a damage Anoint. For the Recoup one, 18%. This one up here, pretty cheap. Have Physical Recoup on my helmet, 8% there, that's 26. Then I picked up this cluster for the sake of getting this Mastery, 25% Recoup. If you've hit full life recently, because we're always leeching, if you ever hit full life, you gain 25% Recoup for 4 seconds. Then got the body armor implicit for 11%, and I recently found a ring with another 15%. So all that together is quite hefty. And then I picked up this cluster over here just to get more life and therefore rage regeneration, and this Mastery. Your life recovery from regen is not applied. Same as Kaom Spirit. That is not a downside here. Every 4 seconds, recover 1 life for every 0.1 life recovery per second from regen. You may have misread that like I did at first. That does not recover life over 1 second. It's instant. So watch my health here as Blood Rage ticks it down. That's not just fast regen, it's instant. So every 4 seconds, I will go to max life regardless of how much life I have. Because I have so much regen from the Untiring node over here, plus my natural regen, that you get an obscene amount of regen, a ridiculous amount of rage regeneration, and you're getting topped off every 4 seconds. So that kind of covers the degen aspect. If you stand in a degen, if you can survive a couple seconds in the degen, you're immune to it basically, as long as nothing else is happening. So that's a pretty great way to solve that in my opinion. And because of the Untiring node, we're getting so much rage regen that Berserk is pretty much up all of the time, as long as we're attacking something. I'd say 90 to 98% of the time, which is quite a range, but bear with me. Berserk is up when it's relevant. Even when Berserk has been up like 8, 10, 15 seconds, my rage will start to go up sometimes instead of continuing to trend downwards, because I'm just attacking more stuff and more quickly, and building up even more regen than I was before. So it just gets pretty ridiculous. So, yep, and then I was able to finally fit in War Banner as well. So running Pride, Determination, and Precision on Arrogance and War Banner, mostly thanks to the mana reservation efficiency on Helmet. From here, if I keep playing the build, I'm likely going to look into just getting a better weapon. I kind of have a base going already in this. I don't know if I'm going to try to do anything with this as it is, but the tree isn't exactly ideal for what I've got going on, like basically nothing here. So I might try to forge it into something else. The ideal way to do this one is through like a meta crafting method is you spam flat fizz essences until you get a good attack speed roll. You annul it down to those two things. You craft prefixes and suffixes cannot be changed with a multi-mod, and then you harvest reforged speed. There's a prefix hybrid attack speed physical damage mod for warlord weapons, and you get that, and then you multi-craft with like, not even multi-craft, I guess you don't have to, you can just do the same fizz and impale roll that I have in this, or higher fizz damage without the impale. Anyways, that was a long ramble. I am going to showcase a map here at the end before we go. Sure, throw on some essences as well, just to demonstrate the rage capabilities. Oh, I guess I didn't go over this either. Armor. Last time I had like 50 or 60k armor, so that was contributing to the situation of dealing too much damage to myself, and now standing still for 5 seconds, 100k, walking around 73k. Soon as I stop to attack, 82k, and that goes all the way up to about 150k if I have flask on and totems up. So, like I said, can basically just have Berserk on all the time. You can watch my rage in the upper left. Might fall off a little bit here. Used to running a bit more dense maps and not having to stop for altars the last little while. But you'll see that, like, even there, between Warlord's Mark and my natural recovery that I have, the rage tends not to fall off all that much, and then once again, once the cooldown is up, you should basically have enough regen that you're back up to full rage in no time. I have a boss here. Single target damage is improved, but not, you know, it could be a lot better. I'll share the POV down in the description or in the comments with appropriate configuration set up. I'm sitting at about 1.7 mil Pinnacle Boss DPS, which isn't the worst. I can do Maven on that, I can do Uber Elder on that, which is what I'm working towards right now. We'll probably put out a video on those, but it could be better. And I think a lot of that is due to my weapon. A lot of people at this point, stupid evasion, are rocking like 700 plus PDPS weapons, so getting something like that would do a lot for the build. And I won't run the rest of this map, but I will do this Crucible over here. Never mind. Alright, guess we'll just charge up this one to the max here. Again, like, your rage might fall off here, but then by the time you're done charging the dang Crucible, it's going to be back to full. And keeping in mind, I don't have good curse resistance or anything like that. And this is a vulnerability map, so I've been taking extra damage as a result of that. So, handles the Crucible decently well, stun things, etc. Yeah, that's about it as far as the build goes. And in terms of other stuff, I might end up re-rolling into a bow character, like I said. I've been doing a lot of heist, got a couple of decent leadership's prices. That one's 4 positive. This one is 4 positive as well. 1 fire, 3 cold, or 1 cold, 3 lightning. And this one's terrible. Yeah, so might try an Ellie hit build, actually, and then if that goes horribly wrong, transition into a lightning arrow or something, but that's my league progress at the moment. A couple of stash things, I guess, showing off. Atlas map progression, 113 out of 115. I'm missing the Twilight Temple and the Putrid Cloister, so that one is a metacrafting mod and is the one I want the most. Do have a couple of div cards for it, so might end up finishing those off if I don't get it more naturally, but yeah, anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the update, and I will see you in the future with more videos. If you like this one, feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.